Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing this wonderful morning? It should be Sunday when you guys are seeing this, so let me know what you guys are excited for this week. Is there something coming up this week that you're excited to happen? Let me know all that down below. If this is your first time here, then hi. My name is Carrington. If this is not your first time here, then welcome back. If you enjoy all things makeup and sprinkling in some true crime here and there, then definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click the little bell so you're notified of all my future uploads. And let's go ahead and let's get into today's video. So for Christmas, I had done a what I got for Christmas haul, and I had showed you guys a couple of the things that I had gotten. Some of the things that I got that I was really excited about is I got some stuff from Milani. So we have some lip oils, all 4 of the new lip oils. These are brand new, the Fruit Fetish lip oils. We have the Milani Supercharged Brightening Under Eye Tint. Have that to try. And then I got a couple of like I got like one or two of like the matte. And then I got a whole bunch of these balms. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and I was going to go out and try to get some more new Milani products because I had seen on Trend Mood that they were coming out with a lot. So I got some more of like the matte liquid lipsticks. So we've got matte lipsticks. They had some newer that are like pinky and reds, and then I got some more from like the nudes collection. We have some different kind of lip liners, and then I have the Milani Gilded Flora eyeshadow palette. That looks really beautiful. I then have the Milani, I'm not sure what this is called, all-inclusive eye, cheek, and face palette, but it doesn't necessarily say like, I don't know. Looks really deep and dark, so we've got that. And then I have the Milani all-inclusive eye, cheek, and face palette. This is supposed to be for like lighter skins. I think they've got like a deeper option as well. So here's that. So we've got a little bit of everything to try. So if you guys are excited to see what my first impressions are, or what my thoughts are on all these products, then definitely keep on watching. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna dive on into some swatches. First up, we're gonna swatch the Milani Gilded Nude. So we have, starting off, we have Fresh as a Daisy, Bouquet, Busy Bee, What's Up Buttercup, Lavender Fields. Next row, we have Botanist. We have Salt of the Earth. We have My Pretty Peony. We have In Full Bloom right here. We have Forget Me Not. Next up, which you can't really see that well, is Garden Path, Pedal to the Metal, Best Bud, Orchid, and last is Take Root. So that is the completed palette, the completed swatches of the palette Gilded Flora. I will say, upon swatching these, they were kind of chalky and really powdery just upon swatching. Of course, swatches don't always tell the whole story, as we saw in my collab video. What is it called? The Witching Hour palette from Alien Cosmetics didn't really swatch the best, but it performed fantastic. So just something to be mindful of. So next up we have, oops, wrong arm. We have the all-in-one face and cheek palette. This is the light shade. So here we have the highlight. We have a eyeshadow, blush, another eyeshadow, a bronzer, another eyeshadow, and then the last eyeshadow. And then this right here is another blush as well, because it comes with 2 different blushes. So then the next one that we have to talk about is this one, which is kind of like more of like that smoky eye kind of a palette. And so right here is the highlight. This right here you can't see, it's a shadow. It's just like a very light, like something to like nicely like set the lid or blend something out. We have a blush right here. We have an eyeshadow here, bronzer here, another shadow, and the blush. So here are all of the swatches from the face palettes. I think that they swatched really nicely. I do have some thoughts about each of them, but I will kind of get into that in my final thoughts. So now we're going to go ahead and we are going to try out the lip products. I do have 3 of them swatched, so I have 3 lip liners. We have Enchanted Rose here. We have Nude. I don't know if you can really tell. So Enchanted Rose, more of like that pinky kind of a nude. This is definitely just like more of like a nude. I don't really necessarily know that it's like super pinky or super brown. I think it's just a really good neutral. And then we have Cinnamon Statement, which is definitely more of like a very like brownish nude. So then we have tons and tons of lip products. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try out each one, swatch them on the lips, see what we have. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and start off with the lip oils. So we have the Fruit Fetish Strawberry Melon Lip Oil. Oh, wow. This kind of reminds me in a way of like the doe foot applicator that goes for like the Jaclyn Cosmetics lip oils that she came out with last summer. Okay. So although this looks like it's going to be really pink, don't necessarily know that it is. It smells interesting. It smells kind of like a fake strawberry scent. I don't know if you all are into that. I'm personally not really into like fake artificial. I guess I'm not necessarily like not into fake and artificial scents. I just don't necessarily care for that. So the next one that we have is going to be Passion Fruit and Coconut. So with this one, I can definitely tell a lot more of like that coconut scent, kind of like almost like I'm putting on coconut oil on my lips. I will say these are really nice and thick and hydrating. So if you need something really good and hydrating for your lips, especially because it's winter time and it gets real cold, that would be a great option. Then we have this one right here, which is Cherry Lime, and this seems like a reddish. Okay, yeah, this one definitely has a tint. It's a light tint though, like just barely. And I feel like with this one, I definitely noticed the lime. I don't really notice so much the cherry with this one, but I do like that it gives it something like nice and soft, like a nice soft color where it's not like too red and intense, but it definitely adds like a little bit of color to my lips. So I do like that. Last one in terms of the Fruit Fetish is the Raspberry Peach Lip Oil. This one again has a very strong, it almost reminds you of like peach rings. Have you guys ever tried those, like the candy, the peach rings? That's what it kind of reminds me of. I don't necessarily know that I care so much for the smell of these just because they just smell like so artificial and fake and like it's like not really that great of candy. So then we have 4 of these matte lipsticks. So the first one I'm going to try out is going to be Desire. These lip lines, I'm just going to say, aren't going to be perfect because I am like just trying to show the color and move on. So this is again Desire. I feel like it looks darker in the tube than what it comes out on the lips. Next up we have Sensual. That's really nice deep shade. So then we have Secret. Alright, this is definitely a very light nude shade. Definitely very, very light. I don't really know if it did anything to my lips. Then we have the shade Peony. This one feels more matte than the other ones that I tried. That's a really nice like soft pink though. And then we had one more. I thought we only had 4 of those, but we have 5. And so number 5 is the shade Pleasure. This definitely makes my lips like blend into my skin color. So, okay, those are all of the matte lips. So then we're gonna go ahead and move on into the balm. So first up for the balm, we have the shade Lingerie. Ooh. So these are really nice, really comfortable, and provides a nice like color to the lips. Then we have the shade right here called Nylon. Next up, we have the shade Lustful. That's a really cute light shade. Then last one right here is Tied Up. Just some spicy names. I really like the color of this one. Again, I just love like how nice and balmy it feels. Also, one thing that I forgot that I did grab. This is the Gilded Flora Shadow Stick. This is in the shade I Lilac You. I think I'm gonna try putting this on like my lower lash line, but there it is. It's just really deep purple. So, all right, those are all the things that we have to try, including this little brightening eye tint. So let's go ahead and let's dive on into the eye look. So I'm going to try to use as much as I can from everything. So first up, I'm going to take this shadow shade that's like right here. I think this will be great for setting the eyelid. I already have eye primer on. I have set my eyes, or not set my eyes. I have primed my eyes with my Ulta Beauty eye primer. That is my tried and true Holy Grail eye primer. I absolutely love using that. This has like so much kick up. That is what I use to prime my eyelids unless I state otherwise, but I feel like I get tons of, well, I don't get tons. I get some new people to my channel, and so I just want to iterate just in case you're like, you didn't prime your eyes. I 100% primed my eyes. So now let's go ahead and let's dive on into this palette. This is definitely a very cute pinky palette, and I think I'm going to do a pinky look. Let's do my Pretty Peony. Right here, again, these shadows just have like a lot of kick up, and we're just gonna, I coated my brush, and we're just gonna, ooh, I don't know if you guys can see the amount of like okay, so let's try loading up the brush again, and we'll go with packing it on first, since these are more like pastel type shades. It's definitely a very light pink shade. It's gonna take some building up. Look at this, like it's like getting everywhere. And this has already like a huge dent in it, and I've only went in 3 times. Like this would be if you ever want to be like, I want to get a palette that I can work my way through really quickly so I can feel good about me buying more makeup, this will be the palette for you. Oh man, I can just see like when I am blending out my eyes, like just like the amount of powder. It's just so chalky. I used to love their old formula. It came in like little metal cases. I think I still have some lying around. But, oh my gosh, I literally have made such a dent in this shade. But anyways, so I used to, I'm going to go into right here to Lavender Fields. Where was I going? What was I saying? Oh yeah, if you ever, like, I like their old formula a lot better, which was in like metal cases. I just felt like it wasn't as like, I don't know, just like poor quality. And the thing is like I have, this is getting everywhere. This is literally getting all over my face, everywhere. I just don't know how they can charge, truthfully, $20. It's like $20 for one of these palettes. I just don't get how you can charge $20 for this palette when it's just not that good. So then I'm going to go into the shade right here called Orchid. It's, let's just see how all this goes. Okay, this shadow isn't, you know, the worst out of these. It's about right here. All right, we've got the black shade. Let's see what happens with this when we take like a light amount. This one doesn't have as much kick up, and kind of just like focus that in like the outer corner just to deepen it up. Let's dive into this palette right here. It's got this really beautiful shimmer. So let's like try that on. All right, my eyes are glitter primed, so this should be going on a lot better than it is. All right, so then the next thing I'm going to do before I go off camera and try to do the rest of my stuff is I'm going to go in with this. Woo! Ah! A lot came out, a lot more than I was ready for. And I have some dark circles under my eyes, and I'm just going to work on covering those up. Seems to be doing an okay job covering it up. I'm gonna go do some of my complexion, such as like foundation, concealer, powder. So then we can come back and we can do the lower lash line, and we can use these to do the face. So I am now back. We are ready to move on to the face. So in each of these palettes, there's a little bronzer, but this one is more cool toned, while this one is definitely a lot warmer. So I'm going to go in with this one first. I'm going to take my brush, and this is what, wrong brush. I'm going to take my brush. Again, this has a lot of kick up, and I'm going to focus on like contouring out my cheeks. And then I'm going to take the one that's a little bit warmer, and these are just have so much like kick up and like fallout in them. It's a disaster, really. And then just focus on bronzing up the whole face. A blush, I'm going to go into this right here. It doesn't have names or anything, it just literally just says blush. This is more of like one of those like really beautiful glowy type blushes, and it's really light, so I think that's one reason why I like it so much. It's just because it's just so beautiful and light. But again, just a ton of like fallout. This highlighters might be a little bit too dark for me, but I think this one in here is going to work really well. This is a very glittery highlight, I can already tell. Okay, so then for the lower lash line, I'm gonna go in with this, and I'm going to smudge that on the lower lash line with like my little, put it on my lower lash line. I'm gonna take a brush and it's gonna smoke this out. Looks okay to me. Did take some work though. Then I'm gonna go into the inner corner. I think I want to go in, see how well this works, with this What's Up Buttercup, which is like this like green matte. And let's see how well this looks, just to add like a little pop of color. Okay. And it's not the best. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like the worst, but don't necessarily know that I care for it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, go finish off the rest of my face off of camera, so then we can come back and we can dive on into some lip options. So I'm back. We've got more of the face done. We're now gonna move on into the lips. So I have decided I'm gonna go into the Understatement lip liner in French Rosé, which is more of that pinky nude. Maybe this, the peony one. So here's the final look. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys like how this turned out, do not. Let's go ahead, let's dive on into my final thoughts. So first things first, this eyeshadow palette, it's trash. It is super, super, super powdery. You get fallout all over your face. You get kick up all over when you're brushing it onto your, like, you know, blending it out. Powder goes everywhere. I already have a very large dent in this shade, and I just went in 6 times. Like, that is how much fallout you get, and it just doesn't, like, I guess my eyes look okay now, I guess, I don't know. But it took a lot of, like, going in and coating the brush to even get it there. This is like $20. This is not worth $20. I'm just gonna go ahead and be straight up honest. This is not worth $20. Literally Wet n Wild, great color story, great formula. Elf, decent. Essence, decent. This for $20, and those other ones are much cheaper than this. This for $20? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Save your money. Skip this. This is terrible. Don't buy it. These lip oils, I do like lip oils. I use that to kind of put some hydration on my lips. I do like them. The only thing I don't like about them is the smell. Like, it just smells like so much like artificial fragrance, and it's not even like a good artificial fragrance. It just smells like cheap, disgusting candy. That's what it reminds me of. It's just like cheap, disgusting candy. But I mean, it's really thick and really hydrating. Like right now I have this matte liquid lipstick on, but I still had some left over of this while doing my makeup, and I think it provides like almost like a glossiness to your lips without having to go over it with gloss. So I do think that these are really nice. It's just, again, it's strong. All right, let's move on to these. So I used the shadows from each of these. I thought this was a nice shadow. This one really wasn't that great. And then in this palette, I used this shimmer. It doesn't really have a whole lot of oomph. It's just not that great. I just think that the shadows just aren't that good. In terms of like the, you know, bronzer and like highlights and blush, they do have, again, a lot of fallout, a lot of kick up. There's going to be a lot of that when you use these. So if that's a deal breaker for you and you'd rather use something that's from the drugstore that does not have the amount of kick up that this has, I would say go for it. If you're like, but it has an all-in-one aspect, okay, then fine. Just know it has a lot of kick up, a lot of fallout, but I think it did a beautiful job. It doesn't look muddy. They work together really nicely for my skin tone. The blush was beautiful, and I thought the highlight was probably my favorite part. I was so nervous that this was going to be just like a glittery, chunky mess. And now that it's like applied to my skin, it's really not. It's really not. I don't really notice when even go like far away, up close. I don't really notice that much glitter. So I feel like the highlight really stole the show for these, but that's about it. Like, personally, I'm really disappointed in these. I feel like I wasted my money. truthfully and honestly, I just feel like I wasted my money. In terms of like this little like shadow stick, I think it like blended out nicely. I feel like it worked a lot better on this side, and then I feel like it started to set on this side, and so I really just had to like work with it, and even then it just doesn't look as blended out. I'm just not a huge cream shadow person, so for me this was probably like a fail. In terms of this brightening under eye tint, this did a fantastic job. It really did brighten up my under eyes, as well as it helped cover up my dark circles that are there. I always have like dark circles right in this area, and it really did just like cover it up nicely. I think this did a great job. Wasn't drying, and I think it looks really beautiful underneath the eyes. In terms of these lip liners, they're really nice, really comfortable, creamy. I'm wondering if because I had on the lip oil, it just didn't like, it wasn't as pigmented, because it's super pigmented here, but it just doesn't seem as pigmented on the lips. And I'm wondering if it's just because I have a lip oil, so it didn't really have my skin to like grip to. But I do think that they were nice, they were creamy, they do have some pigmentation. I think they're really nice. I think the lip liners are good. In terms of the matte lipsticks, I really like the colors that I have. I think they went on beautifully. It wasn't like so mattifying that it was hurting my lips. So it's not necessarily like a matte liquid lipstick, but it's also not as like satiny as like a regular lipstick. These do have more of that matte aspect, but it's not uncomfortable. Like you don't really know, like I don't really notice that it's on my lips. I notice more that the lip oil is on my lips than I do these lipsticks. These balms are probably going to be like something that I take with me all the time. It's just so like creamy and buttery and soft on the lips. I think these are fantastic. I'm definitely a balm person. I love to be able to play around and use some balms. So I'm definitely going to get a lot of use out of these. So let's just talk about like my top two and my bottom two. So for my top two that I tried, I would have to say this was really nice, especially if you suffer from like dark circles under your eyes. This is for like fair skin, but they have ones ranging all the way up to like deep skin. So hopefully like there would be something in your shade range. I can't remember like if there was only like 3 or 4 or how many of them there were. There were some different ones. So for me, I really liked this. The next two things that I like, I'm going to talk about these two because I feel like in a way they're kind of the same. And that's going to either be these balms or this lip oil. And I think you can get away with either of these if you really like a nice balm. And I love a nice hydrating balm on the lips. If you don't really want a lot of color and you want something that's going to be really nice and thick, go with the lip oil. If you're somebody that you'd rather have some color and it not be as thick, go with these. But I feel like they're kind of similar basically, so I'm going to include those as like my top two. Okay, in terms of my bottom two, I'm just gonna have to give it first of all to this eyeshadow palette. This is trash. This was awful. And then these, again, the eyeshadows weren't great. I feel like the other products were decent. It was just so much kick up and so much fallout that I'm just kind of like, I'm over it. I've got better stuff in my collection. So let me know what you guys think down below. Have you guys tried out any of these Milani products? Are you loving them, not loving them? Have you guys thought about picking up anything from Milani? Has this helped influence whether or not you're going to pick up something or not? Let me know all that down below. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, enjoy these types of videos, and definitely give this video a thumbs up. This lets me know that you enjoy testing new makeup. This lets YouTube know so they can give you more recommendations. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye!